All right, y'all. Welcome back to season 2 of Brooklyn's Balance. Y'all said that y'all needed a little balance, so we are here to give it to you. Right back again with your usual suspects is me, MzMeekz. To my left is Miss Cammy, Coach Rod. We got Zay, who's now officially sitting down as a seat on the table. And now we have our editor who wants to come from behind the scenes, kind of like a Suge Knight thing. So give it up for Mark right here. So today we are going to take it back. Just like we start off every season, we're going to do accountability. So last year we did accountability. This year we're going to do accountability 2.0. This is the standard that we are setting up for 2020 and 2021. So what I want to ask everybody on the podcast, we all gonna take some accountability for some things that we did in 2020, things that we starting off in 2021. Everybody know what the definition is. Everybody knows what it means.
I guess to take ownership.
Ooh, you starting first. Go ahead.
Just taking ownership of things that you may have done, whether it's right or wrong. That's it.
Anything you want to take ownership of? None
good.
whatsoever. That's how that goes. Usually that's how that goes. But what I want everybody to do is basically, what is it that we want to take accountability for what we did on season 1? What are y'all going to bring to us for season 2? So we need to sit down and take some accountability. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to be the person that goes last. But Cammy, Rod, what y'all want to take accountability for from season 1?
I will definitely take accountability for, not putting as much effort into, being a part of the podcast in 100%, you know what I'm saying? I'll take accountability for that and being late in the beginning. I'll take accountability for that, but now I'm all in, so about to see me.
Right, you coach?
She was finished.
No, I'm good.
I guess just to piggyback off what she said, just my tardiness. That's something I always struggle with though, like my tardiness. And just effort. Effort, to put forth more effort, like I do everything else.
All right, so that was our sorries for like 2020, right? Ruben started. Where is he, by the way? Nobody knows.
Nobody know what happened to the big boy.
After that song, it was
kind of over.
He followed us for 1 year, and that was it.
That was it. He said sorry.
Yeah. I think he took accountability in 2004.
That was it. That was his
just left it. He was like, all right, I want to stay as a good person.
He got us 15 minutes of fame. He good.
I feel you. Zay, what you want to take accountability for?
I mean, in terms of this podcast, I showed up late. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even know the podcast.
I mean, but you live in the Bronx, like.
No, I was on time for this.
Oh,
I was late
I
for the
appreciate you for that.
The beginning
it's us Brooklyn people, you say, right?
I'm a Brooklyn original. I've been down with you for like 8 years. I should have been on this.
You feel me, Mark?
Well, I'll take accountability for this. I feel starting off with, editing the podcast, like I started off strong, but I felt like I might have fell off a little bit as far as like, feeling like I might have lost interest somewhere, as we were moving forward. So I feel like I just got to pick up my slack. I just got to move forward.
Gotcha.
Bro, it's hard to stay interested in things. It's hard to push like that.
It's hard, but
what kind of weed is y'all smoking? I'm confused.
I don't agree with that.
Right?
You're going to stay interested.
Well, it's you don't ever
Everybody's
get like
different.
kind of challenged when you're sitting there trying to create and be different and trying to motivate.
I can agree to some extent. A little bit, not a lot, because like I said, if you're interested in something, you stay interested.
But what if you don't succeed? How about your discouragement?
I mean, if you don't succeed, you got to take steps in order to succeed.
Right, but doesn't that thing make you feel down? You still got to push past it, but aren't you
Right,
pushing past that down feeling?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
you got to push
there's
past the down
there's
feeling.
weak-minded people and there's strong-minded people. If you're a weak-minded person or individual, then it's like, all right, I'm going to just soak and,
Quit.
To be honest with you, with that part, I don't necessarily agree as far as being strong or weak-minded, because even the strong-minded could have points to where,
True.
They could lose interest when there's a peak when they're going down. So they have to find a way in order to pick it
I
back
could
up.
kind of relate to like a writer's block. It's kind of
Okay.
similar, We like as a writer, as a singer, I get that very rarely, but when I get it, it's like, oh, I need to like get the fire back. I need to figure out how to motivate myself again too. So it's kind of like the same thing. I kind of was explaining this when we had like a private meeting. Like, I felt like things were, turning for the worse, and that was kind of what was like the energy was like dimming, I guess, down my light or whatever it was. It was just kind of making me feel like, all right, this is, the energy is low, and so I need the energy to. I need it to be consistent in order for me to stay 100% in it, and that's like on me as well. like we're all a part of the podcast. We all have put in energy, but like I'm definitely a big part of that. So I'm gonna take accountability for that and make sure that the energy is there so that I can stay motivated.
So, but by definition, don't you have to get past that weak stuff to be considered strong-minded? You really can't be strong-minded if you haven't overcome.
Okay, pretty on a Sunday. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's like they have to coexist.
What is this? Zayy Popovich?
Yeah. It has to be a bar for you to get past. You know, to say you got past that bar.
Yeah, true.
Or sometimes you go through it.
Even still, it has to be there.
Granted, like for me, I feel like with this podcast, I'm a big motivator. And anything that I do, I'm a leader in whatever I do. When I go into work or whatever the case may be. But I wholeheartedly believe in common sense and self-motivation. It's only so much I can do. You know, I can come up with 1,000,001 ideas, but sometimes it's like, that's my idea. I got to figure out what works for us. How do I put groups of people together? So that's a big thing coming from like my perspective of being a creator. If I know Rod separately and Cammy separately and Zayy separately and Mark separately, I know what's going to work for y'all. But I know how to keep y'all motivated separately. But it's amongst y'all to figure out the group thing. Like, hey, how can I, you know, get to know this person more or see what it is that Tamika sees or whatever the case may be. And I think it's like that in life, too. I think there's a lot of people in a lot of seats that need to take accountability that, like, hey, you can't just expect everybody to do everything on their own. And sometimes you always can't hand everything to everybody on their own as well. So it's kind of like a double standard when it comes to certain things like that. My biggest thing with accountability, and I've probably said this numerous times again, I don't apologize. I don't believe in apologizing. You're not going to get that from me. No matter what the situation is, you're not going to get that from me. And if you do get it from me, please take that. That's a blessing. If I apologize to you, take it. Take it and run. Because I am a very tactful person when I say stuff. If we're in an argument, I'm very calculated. If I know that I'm losing, which you shouldn't look at it that way, and you're winning, you're going to do whatever you got to do to win. If I'm having a conversation with my friends, like for example, I've all had conversations with you guys, and I start to feel like, all right, nobody's hearing me. All right, I got to elevate a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit louder. Hello? Y'all hear me talking to y'all? That's me, you know, doing that. So I feel like if I took that step to do anything, why am I apologizing? That's how I felt in that moment. I think apologies are meant for if you physically do something to somebody. That's how I feel. I think you can't apologize for words because words go out and they forever out there. There's nothing you can do about that. We could try to work through it, walk past it, and talk through it, but I'm always going to stand on what I said. Yeah, did I say, yeah, that's why you lost your baby in 2002? Yeah, bitch, it's a fact. You told me that, and that's where we at.
Lordy.
But look, but not to cut you off, because you just said that, you know, words could basically go out the window. But is that really the case when sometimes you have people that actually remember things that you may have said and it really stuck to them?
No, so, that's not what I meant. I meant that words will always be there. It's gonna always be there, no matter what. So why am I apologizing for some words? I'm not. And when people talk, people basically talk on a little bit of a fact. It could be that you told me something about Cammy, and I'm talking to her. It may not be 100% true, but it's gonna be about 25% true. And I felt the need to bring it up in that conversation. What am I apologizing for? I felt that I could use it in that conversation. I think that people need to get past that. Words is like, we all got words on tombstones. Yeah, they there. This is my point. It's gonna forever be there. So I'm not apologizing for that. Now, if I slapped you, stole some money from you, killed your dog, I'll apologize for that.
Not the dog.
Listen,
I don't
like pets.
Only not to cut
So
you
can I
off,
ask a
but
question though?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
So I was earlier, you know, me and Cammy was talking before we started recording. We were saying how, I was saying how there were like chosen mistakes. Mm-hmm. What did I say? Wishful mistakes? Mindful mistakes. Right. And isn't that kind of going hand in hand with what we were saying before? It's like you, it may be a mistake what you said, right? But you said it on purpose.
Not me.
Which
You ever
makes it
talk to me?
mindful.
No. Mm-mm.
So even if you feel like you were wrong, you don't consider it a mistake?
Wrong in
Just
the
because
words
you
of
said
me
it.
talking to somebody, or wrong in the words of I shouldn't have said something to somebody?
In terms of, you know, I feel like you shouldn't have said something to somebody?
No. That's the reason for one psychologist, and that's also the reason for like checks and balances. How are we supposed to overcome strength if you don't if we're not attacking it? Like, I'm gonna say it to you full on. If my homeboy can't rap, and we keep going to these shows, I'ma tell you.
Please tell me.
I need to tell you.
Please, it costs money to
But
do
I'm gonna
this.
let
Please tell me.
homeboy in the crowd, boo, you suck. And now we both got to fight, and we both locked up. Now I'm not fucking with you no more, because you knew the shit was trash. Fuck that shit. Your engineer knew the shit was trash.
Yo,
Why are we here?
I just said this the other day, bro.
A lot of situations that
If
go
I
on
am
like
trash,
that.
please tell me, bro. I am dropping hundreds of dollars on studio time. Please tell me.
I mean, sometimes you say don't your feelings, and you know, sometimes it's hard to be like, yo,
My
your
feelings
shit is
towards
trash,
me.
bro. That's like telling somebody their breath stink. How's a nice way to tell somebody your breath stink?
It's not. And I
You
think that
want
when
a
it
piece of
comes
gum?
certain comfort of
And what if they
Would
don't
you
want
like
the
a
gum?
mint?
What if they don't want the gum?
Offer it 3 times.
Nah.
If you don't get the hint by them, bro, then you just not listening. Would you like some gum? Yo, bro, I got some gum. Oh,
Now you need
You
this
need some
gum,
gum?
bro.
if I say you need some gum and you go, nah, bro, you're not listening. I,
You know
I
what's so
asked
funny?
you need some gum.
It be so many conversations where I have with other people where sometimes I'll be trying to tell them, like, anytime that you try to offer something in that way, especially like you just said, offer to them 3 times and they still not listening, now you kind of like, you got to let them dig their grave on
Gotta
their
touch
own.
their
Yeah, at that point in time, it's like, all right,
Like,
bro,
listen.
now you ain't getting no girls.
Right.
Ain't nobody talking.
See, I'm not doing that. I'm coming straight to you. Hey, yo, it's a little hot. Your breath, you're talking too close. We supposed to be 6 feet. I can smell it from here. Take this.
Shout
You
out
ain't
to
gotta
the
roast
6
me
feet
neither.
too,
I'll give it to you.
You ain't gotta roast me too. Like, you could have just said, yo, your breath stink. You gotta come out with the wordplay and the metaphors.
I'd rather that than like your breath stink. Like,
Sometimes that
Now
hits
you
a
gotta
little more.
soften it up with
Yo,
a
she
joke.
dropped bars,
So
don't be like
that-
a battle rapper
sometimes
just now.
You're a rapper, right? So that's maybe the way that you're gonna understand
She
it.
came out. I was like, damn, I need to do a diss track. Like, let me get the spearmint. I'm gonna be right back, bro. I promise. Like,
Come back with a whole mic and say, I
come
said,
back-
yo.
come back with the Listerine promotions. Like, bro, I gotta do it. Like,
That's it. And it's just like, that's my biggest thing when it does come to people and accountability. Like, see, y'all didn't realize, I just thought Tamika just don't say sorry. Nah. I always remember some shit. If y'all ever talk to me, I remember some shit you did 4 or 5 years ago. I remember the first time I met Rod. I bet you he can't even remember that. Can't tell him what he was wearing, but I can tell him where we met, what the conversation was. I can tell him who he met. Look, see, they met.
people, bro. I know exactly. I remember the story of meeting you, bro. I will never forget.
That we're not gonna do. I'm not taking
I will
accountability
never
for none of
forget.
that
You
right
got
now.
to, bro. She pressed me so hard.
All right, so my biggest
the
thing, my
Starbucks.
next biggest thing with accountability, I think a big thing for accountability that people don't talk about. So last year when we did talk about it on our episode, we were just transparent, out in the open. That was our first time meeting each other. That was us testing our chemistry. It worked. It was a vibe. But the biggest thing that comes with accountability, communication. You cannot take accountability or expect somebody to take accountability without communication. Am I right or am I wrong? Or in the words of Rod, answer the question. Yes or no? Yes or no?
You right.
Got a point.
You right.
Communication. What are the levels of communication for somebody to take accountability or for you to get somebody to take accountability?
What do you mean by levels? Like,
Because it's different forms.
so different forms.
Is rude going too far?
I think it's a little bit simpler than that.
Because there's a nice way to say something, and then there's a gritty way to say something, and sometimes you don't gotta go the gritty route.
So that's one of the points that I got as far as communication. So my biggest thing with accountability is how you communicate. Are we talking over the phone where we may not be able to see each other? Are we talking in person where we can read body language? Is this a text message where you just don't know what's going on? You're going to misinterpret anything that I say. And then while we're doing all of that, how is my tone? Is my tone disrespectful? Is it demeaning? Do you know me enough to know what my disrespectful is and the definition of disrespect is?
Sometimes it might all be a matter of just context, and I think where
With context, it's time and place.
It's time and place.
All of that
but at the
goes
same
into
time,
a factor. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to talk about with accountability.
Yeah.
How does that work for communication with accountability? Take all of that into a factor. How does that work? Can somebody really take accountability, or can somebody else really expect somebody to give accountability if we didn't take all these avenues?
That is
is it safe to say that
wow.
might be subjective?
That's a great question.
I mean,
No, I feel like it might be safe to say that that's subjective because a majority of people sometimes when you're having those conversations, that's why I go back to it being a matter of context. No matter what type of communication that you might have with a person, when it comes to accountability, it really comes down to how that person takes it. So if you're saying something that they don't want to hear, period, they're just going to take it any type of way that they want.
So then they're not a person that holds any integrity to be able to take any accountability. So then therefore they have no standards in their life. So then therefore there's no consequences and repercussions, and they're just used to running free. So then
Sounds like
that
a
doesn't
majority
give
of
them a
people.
definition of being a person, a friend, a family member, a business partner, because that's how things work. Am I right? Because that's how life works.
I think that there's a way you can get to like if you don't know a person, you could be like, no disrespect, and I just wanted to tell you.
Which is always disrespect.
I mean, not always. Not always.
Respectful.
99% of the time. Which is
But not-
that's still
Not always. Like, I know you don't know me, and this might come off as whatever, but I need to tell you this, that, and the third about how you're moving, and like it needs to be fixed or
Choose to accept it or
whatever.
they don't.
Yeah, you can either accept it or not, but like this is how I am as a person, and I need to let you know. Like, you could always say that. I mean, it's not. You don't have to say it, but if you want to be one of those people that's like considerate of how people feel, that's a way that could be handled
I
to
feel you
avoid
can't
that shit.
generalize it. Like it's a hard thing to generalize giving accountability to somebody because everybody does take things differently. Like
Yeah.
Mark said, it's perspective.
It's perspective.
It's like some people might not be able to take the gentle way. Like how we said, suggested 3 times, somebody might still not get it. They
Yeah.
might actually need somebody like me to come down and go, listen, bro, your breath is boofing.
Why
Please.
is it Meeks? I hate when y'all
Please.
do that.
Or maybe you need
I
somebody
mean,
like Coach Rod, bro.
let's be
Coach
honest.
Rod is
You're
bad
like
low-key.
probably one of the most direct people that we've
You know
come
what I'm
across.
saying?
Y'all are proving my
Chilling,
point. So
chilling.
that's why I can't wait till when we get up to this lovely clip that everybody is looking at behind us. So I think my biggest thing with us going back and doing accountability is I want to point out some things to y'all that I may have done, that you may have done, that you may have done, and now other people may have seen. So back to communication, and I'm gonna give y'all a clear-cut example. Maybe this will help. And we're all a part of this situation, and it's hilarious, right? We have another group chat. June 4th, we have a sip and paint coming up that y'all need to be at, so make sure that y'all are there. This is what we have been promoting. It's a 90s theme. I'm sorry, I just had to throw that in there. That's a word from our sponsors. But we have a group chat with another person, right? Love her to pieces. Shout you out. Not gonna say your name. And I'm pretty sure there are times when, and I'm gonna be so blunt, Mark does it, Isaiah does it, and Rod does it. This is a male thing. When they start to hear so many bling, 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 blings on their phones, they're like, oh, the females is talking in the group chat.
Not really.
It's-
My phone is always on silent. Always.
So is mine.
He don't give a damn
All right.
about my life or nobody else's
Me
life.
personally, I happen to know Cammy. I've known Cammy for a while, right?
So you know she's
And I
going
know
on a
Cammy
rant.
get in her bag sometimes.
But
and
this time
she
I-
got something to say.
I'll give it up for you. This
Right.
time it wasn't
See, don't be
Cammy.
wrong.
This time it wasn't Cammy, right? This is somebody else, right?
Ooh.
And they have made a statement numerous times. And you guys are my friends. And you guys know when I say something, I say it very loud and clear like how I'm saying it now. I said, hey, this is what we're doing for blah, blah, blah date. And this is how it's going to go in a house with all of us, right? And this person who was sitting there goes, hey, I have a question. So are we going to do that for such and such? And I stopped. And I'm pretty sure everybody feels the stop. Cammy felt it yesterday. Because I rung the phone. Bling, hello. What the fuck is wrong with her? What's the problem? Did I not say this? Cammy goes, yes. I call you. Yeah, you said that shit.
I love those conversations.
I don't call
I love
Rod
it.
because sometimes
Those
he
be
sleep.
the best. Yo,
I
be
call
in
Mark.
Tears,
I called Mark.
crying.
And Mark goes, you did say that. Okay, how did I say it? Because, I got to ask that now. How did I say it?
All right, so you actually said it a couple different times, a couple different ways.
Okay, I get your 3-time try, right?
Yeah.
So as we see, now that shit don't work. Don't offer nobody gum 3 times. If it's booming, it's fucking booming. You just
That's
tell
a
them.
different kind of person, though.
Doesn't matter. Everybody, you can start high. like in sales, and come back low. Hey, you ain't have to talk to me like that. Hey, it wasn't that I was trying to talk to you. Like, you wasn't going to get it though. Point blank period. You feel me?
But you went booming and it still didn't go. It still didn't catch.
It's just like you in school. If I can't learn it this way, I'm gonna have to learn it this way.
That's true.
Like online learning. Like some kids need to be in that in-school setting. Some kids they could be at home and do work. You understand? But some kids get so distracted and they just in the air and being, like I said, when I used to work in schools, like I said, some kids want to get distracted easily. Two, if I'm home doing work, I'm not really doing work. I'm home, I'm on the bed, I'm chilling, I might eat cereal. Like, I'm not doing my work. I might sign in, but I'm not, like I said, everybody takes things differently. So, like.
All right, so that conversation, this proves my point of how people want to take stuff. So, I call her after I speak to my 3 consultants, right? And I go, hey, I know I spoke to you about this. No, I did not hear that. In that moment, my psychology degree kicked in from John Jay. And it made me remember when people when they feel like you're coming at them in a calm way, or let me take that back. Because people know the old me, that has expired, right? And I'm going to go, yo, what the fuck? You ain't hear what I said? In her mind, that's how she perceived I was going to come to her. And it was, hey, we had a conversation about this with everybody there. And I'm pretty sure I told you that we're not doing that, and this is the reason why. Oh, I didn't hear that. No, you did not want to hear that, because I just got confirmation that 3 people heard that. Sometimes it's when you have to go speak to that person and they feel they did something wrong, they're not even going to take any level of accountability, no matter your tone, no matter how you communicate it, no matter the time nor the place. Some people just don't like to get in trouble. And that's a bare fact. That's exactly how that goes, no matter what the situation is. So sometimes when people have conversations with people, what we're supposed to do is you're supposed to ask for a third party or a mediator, correct? Because I know when I talk to people, I try to ask for that, because everybody thinks, hey, she might come off a little rough, but y'all just told me the nigga who needed gum. Yo, Meeks, come here. Y'all pulling me out the back like a secret weapon. So why I can't do that shit all the time?
Because you dropped the nukes last.
But I'm always like that. Like me.
You don't start with the nuke. You can't start with the heavy guns.
Okay, fun fact. My stepfather raised me in a lot of things. He's a very aggressive person. So I learned a lot of things from a man. My mother's always there. He was just very, hey, speak up. Say it with your chest. Like, yo, I'm a whole female. Hey, speak up. You say what you mean what you say. You don't cut no corners around it. So when I'm predominantly drawn to hang out with more males. So more males is like, oh, she's cool. Until I gotta go, Rod, what the fuck? Then it's like, damn. In that moment, it's like, yo, she all cool and we could talk shit about this person. But don't scary. Come to me. And people take that like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't see it as, I see it as a certain level of confidence. That means I could talk to anybody in the room. Your cat, your dog, your fish, your mom, your grandma, the president. I'm going to talk to anybody.
Yo, she going to talk about the whole squad.
That's all I'm going to do.
I think there's and what you just said, you was raised that way. I think that's a big difference, because a lot of people are not raised like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It was don't let nobody take nothing. I feel like today, I can make the joke about it. I feel like it was like jail mentality. Like, you speak up. Ain't nobody gonna take your cornbread off your tray. Like, nah.
The cornbread, this ain't life.
The sad part is I kind of...
It is life.
I kind of repelled my teachings. Like, I went opposite of how I was taught. Because my father, if you was to meet my father, he's a nice, upfront kind of dude. Mm-hmm. My father will really get at you. Like, not on a physical standpoint, but he can mentally ruin your life. Right. And it's like, okay. And I
think all males hold that trait. There's a lot of females that sit in the house crying.
I do my best to sit there and like
because the nigga don't call her back or text her back, but he out here wearing shorts in 90-degree weather. Men have that. Listen, that's your superpower.
Why are you bothering his shorts?
No, I just
he's blowing out of control.
That's crazy. I ain't making nobody cry.
I wasn't coming for you.
I don't even shorts.
No, it just happened. It's 90 degrees
so they can't catch him. He got to keep moving.
Listen, so another big thing that comes with accountability, comprehension. You could communicate and ask people to take accountability all they want, but do they comprehend to your level?
Right. That's big. That's big.
I'm making y'all rethink life, right?
Vocabulary
Today on Brooklyn's
helps.
Balance, like Sunday service. I just really wanted to make sure. Last thing, a big thing with accountability is consequences, right? There's a lot of things that need to happen. A part of accountability is taking the accountability, which means, hey, like if I'm not talking to you no more, then hey, this is why I'm not talking to you no more. This is why I can't fuck with you no more. And sometimes it takes a village. You can't just use one person. So I do want to get into a clip to show from last year, you know, exactly what we were talking about. We kind of hit it on the nail. You know me. Y'all all know pieces of me. I don't apologize. I say how I feel.
Oh, we know.
But why don't you apologize?
You being my friend, you walked into this contract.
No. See?
You being my friend.
Waiter.
Into this. You
Check.
walked into
Look.
this contract.
Accountability 101. Carry on.
Listen, you walked into this contract. I'm that person that I'm going to tell you how it is, in the words of Bernie Mac. I'm going to tell you how it is.
Still
you understand?
relevant.
Y'all have all been friends with me for that very reason. I tell it how it is. Now, if I got to turn my chair to you and tell you how it is, now you want me to hold accountability? When you was sitting there and we was all doing it to this person, and so nah, Tamika said what she said, you know what she meant. Now, I take accountability if I have harmed you in some way. That sound familiar? So based off of everything that I just said right now with accountability, I still hold that. My morals are still straightforward to the point. I just want to make sure we end out like this. A lot of people have been asking me questions. Season 1, as you can see, there was 4 people sitting at this table, right? Season 2, I had to restart my brand. I just want to put this accountability piece out there. I said exactly what I said. If you are my friend and we have these conversations, it is okay when we laugh at the masses, but as soon as I have to hold you accountable for some stuff, you don't like that heat. And also with us being friends, you guys have to take that accountability as well. And sometimes step in, like I've said on numerous episodes, and go, hey, you don't think that you might have did something wrong? Did you sit down to comprehend? Did you sit down to understand? And the reason why I'm going to be real with you about this, a lot of people have done this, as we have seen the past 2 weeks with the Joe Budden podcast. I give it to them. Those men sat up and talked and sat down and had a conversation and then was able to make a decision. So right now with accountability for season 2 of 2.0, this is Brooklyn's Balance. And now we will be moving forward, taking each and every action that we need so that we can each hold each other accountable and be able to move forward as a podcast. So for those of you who haven't, please, we are on every platform. Hit the button, like, subscribe. June 4th, please pull up to our Sip and Pain. Come sit and talk with us. Can we talk?